Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having fun taking this course on penetration testing methodologies. This is class 3 and its title is Profiles of Pen Testing and Pen Testing Methodologies. So I've broken this class in multiple parts. This is part 2 of this particular class. And I'm going to go over basically your penetration testing methodologies. I'm going to talk about penetration testing methodology list and penetration testing roadmaps in this class, all right? So let's begin. So first is your pen testing methodologies. So it has been observed that even hackers go about their attacks in a very strategic manner. So you should understand that. Everything is all about a methodological attack, a methodological way of doing things. So usually a methodology ensures that the process is always conducted in a standard manner with documented and repeatable results for a given security posture. So basically you know that what are you following, what is a concise way or path which you are going to follow, and what is the expected result which you have documented while going through that path. This basically helps testers plan their testing, or you can say their attack strategy, according to the input gained in the preceding phases of the testing process. So you keep on going deeper into attack. A tester is basically gaining knowledge and inputs for the next phase. So that is the methodology, and you should ensure that you always follow one, right? So penetration test involves basically the systematic analysis of all the security measures in which are put in for an organization, or which are put in place. So a full project should include, I would say, 6 important areas. First being your network security. So let's talk about network security first. So penetration testers should check some of the key things to secure a network. Basically, number 1 is your port scanning, right? Then identification of other network security related lists. As I mentioned here, you have to make sure that you are doing these, and make a note of this list, as you could be quizzed of these also later on. So we'll have some quizzes also during this class, and this could be in the end of the class. So next is your pen testing methodology is information security, right? So penetration testing to check what does this mean usually. So it is basically your a way of penetration testing in which you can check the security of sensitive information of the organization, and which includes your document grinding, your competitive intelligence scouting, and even your privacy reviews. Okay. Next one, let's talk about your social engineering and security of the organization against social engineering attacks. And so social engineering attacks may be ensured by requesting testing, and also with guided suggested testing, and also through, I would say, trusted testing. So that could be part of this methodology for your social engineering attacks. So next pen testing methodology is your wireless security. So basically communication, I would say, like your wireless security, your communication security, and your physical security. All of them, they're kind of grouped together. So key task for pen tester here is to check the security of your wireless devices, and networks are firstly your wireless network testing. The cordless communication testing is also part of it. Basically in this you have your privacy review and of your infrared system, and also testing of that system, right? Also in communication security, which I mentioned earlier, which is also part of this, is where you make sure that your communication security, the methods used are mostly your securing your PBX testing, or even voicemail testing, your fax and your modem testing. Lastly, and of course physically this needs to be also conducted. So security of an organization against physical attacks may be ensured by implementing one of these access control testing, either or by your monitoring review of the alarm system and responses to it, or even your environmental review. So what exactly your physical environment, and also doing the parameter review, like around your organization itself. So I want you to basically look at this slide carefully, all right? So it has a lot of things I'm trying to explain, and I want you to also absorb these, So the cornerstone of a successful penetration tester is the methodology involved in devising it, right? So key thing. So the underlying methodology should help the tester by providing a systematic approach to the testing patterns, I would say. So it could be the consistency and accuracy, and also the efficiency of a test. These all must be met and should be up to some kind of a standard or a mark, you can say, of a testing methodology. So this does not mean that the entire framework should be restrictive. However, there are two important types of penetration testing methodologies which you should be aware of. One is the proprietary methodologies, and the other is the open source and public methodologies. So the proprietary methodologies are open source and public methodologies. So let's look at the proprietary methodologies. As you know, there are many organizations that work on penetration testing, and they all offer services and certifications, right? So there's a lot of them out there. So these network security organizations have their own methodologies and that are kept confidential, and some proprietary methodologies, for example, IBM. So ISS, which is the Founder Stone EC Council Limited, NEST is an open source and public methodology you should be aware of. And there's a wide range of methodologies that are publicly available, such as the OSSTIMM, the CISSP, CISA. This list keeps on going on. So you can go in and research on this also on your own time. Next up, I want to talk to you about the pen testing roadmap. Basically, I want to introduce you to a typical methodology of a pen tester or pen testing, and also do a quick walkthrough of its roadmap and different parts within the roadmap. So this gives you basically a good understanding of a complete end-to-end penetration testing process, right? So pay attention here. So we always start with information gathering. That's the first thing. So this basically ensures that we have a good understanding about what we are starting with, and then we start going deeper into it. So next we'll try to find out the vulnerabilities. We've done the information gathering, then we do the vulnerabilities in an organization or in the network. It could be external, internal, it could be using the routers, switches, whatever we want to do. We'll also do firewall penetration testing, IDS pen testing, also wireless network pen testing is needed next, right? So we'll go through the wireless network penetration testing, and that should be, for wireless network, we should also be aware of the denial of service. Be careful about the DOS, that is denial of service pen testing, to be done here. So moving on, next slide, the other parts of the roadmap. Next is we will start with password cracking, then go to social engineering, stolen laptops, PDAs, then also application design, that is basically your physical security, and database pen testing is required. One another thing for your pen testing roadmap, it should also include your VoIP pen testing, and mostly on a personal network, or and then also in your VPN pen testing and VOR dialing. Those are also very important things which should always be part of your penetration testing roadmap. So this slide, I will give you the remaining parts of your roadmap. I know this is a long list, but you should always be aware of it. You should never miss any step here unless it's not part of a legal agreement, okay? So make sure that you go over all the different aspects of a pen testing roadmap. So in this slide, let's talk about other steps which you should know about. First one out here is your virus and Trojan detection. You should know that this is an important aspect. Your malicious activities can be captured by log management in penetration testing. Also, you should know where you're storing all your data, and logs, they're very sensitive. They give all the information. Some of those cool logs with all the different systems. So we should be knowing that we're just storing your logs, and should I say there should be like some kind of a file integration check in there. Also, your Bluetooth and handheld devices should be part of it. Telecommunication and broadband communication should be part of the model base. Then your email security pen testing and your SMTP server should be part of this kind of penetration testing. So another thing is that your security patches and pen testing should be there. In case you are using security patches also, then we will do the pen testing on that. And also finally your data leakage, in case we have got hacked, then from where the hackers are accessing your data, and the data leakage penetration testing will give you a good understanding around that. All right, so this brings us to the end of class 3, which I had divided into a few parts. And in this, in the first earlier parts, I talked about hiring a penetration tester. Then I talked about penetration testing responsibilities. What is the profile of a good penetration tester? I also got you fully familiar with what companies look for when looking for a penetration tester company or a different individual. So in the next parts, I talked about penetration testing methodologies. I also talked about your penetration testing roadmap, which is basically what you should follow, different steps you should follow, different steps in a part of the roadmap to make sure you've covered everything when you're trying to do any kind of penetration testing. Roadmap is critical. Do go over it. I would say like print it out and like put it next to you. All right. Well, thanks for joining this class. I will see you in the next class. Thank you.